Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA weekly analysis. NVIDIA performed much better than my expectation that I shared with you in my previous video. My assessment and expectation in my previous video was NVIDIA would close positive in the last week, and I was expecting NVIDIA to range between 120 and 130 by the end of last week, but Nvidia closed at 135.4, and that is 11.05% up by the end of last week. So in just 1 week, Nvidia went up about 11%. And there are multiple reasons Nvidia to surge last week. Number one, the US and the China trade deal positive developments. And number second, President Trump visit to the Middle East secured some funding and investment for Nvidia and overall AI sector. And number three, the inflation of the CPI data came in line with the forecast. Let's take a look. So you see that the overall CPI data came 2.3% versus the forecast 2.4%. So basically, it's trending down, starting from February 3%, and then March 2.8%, and then 2.4% in April, and May 2.3%. I guess that was the reason President Trump was expecting that Fed should start cutting the rate. And in my opinion, I guess this was the right time Fed should start cutting the rates, because if they wait more, I mean another 2 3 months, probably that would be too late. And the core CPI came 2.8% versus the forecast 2.8%. And overall trend is down starting from February. You see that 3.3%, then 3.1%, and then 2.8%, and now 2.8%. Now, let's start talking about how NVIDIA can perform this week and can it close positive by the end of this week. Number one data point is the economic data. Let's take a look. So, for this week, Monday, no big data is coming. Tuesday, nothing much. Wednesday, nothing much as well. And Thursday, no job data, no inflation data, but weekly initial jobless claim, but that's not too important. And Friday also, no major data is coming. So this week is pretty quiet in terms of the economic data. And second data point for NVIDIA's assessment for this week is technical chart. Let's take a look. Starting with the Fibonacci levels, you see that the next level of resistance is 138.33. As you see here, Nvidia at this point is trading around 132 after hours. So basically, after hours, it went down about 2%. And next level of support after that is 126.73. And if it goes further down, the next level after that is 118. On the upper side, after 138, we have all-time high of 153.11. So 138 is a strong resistance level. I'm not sure Nvidia can break 138 this week, but that would be interesting to see. And if you take a look MACD chart, you see that we had a strong positive momentum on Nvidia last week, but starting Friday, it started coming down. At this point, it's touching the zero level. So that tells that on Monday, we might expect some volatility on Nvidia. It can go either way on Monday, but most probably Nvidia might make some correction on Monday. And the third data point is the forward PE. As you see on your screen, As of last Friday, Nvidia forward P was 35.08. I did not capture the forward P last few weeks. The last time I captured was on 321, and at that point it was 32.88. So Nvidia came into the stable region at this point. Historically speaking, Nvidia stable region regarding the forward P is between 30 and 40. So Nvidia still has some room to go further up before the next earnings. But at the same time, it can make some correction in next few days as well. Because last week Nvidia went up about 11% and has not made any corrections after that. And now let's take a look at some news regarding Nvidia and overall market. Now starting with this one that says consumer tech news. Trump's Europe critic intensifies. UAE gets Nvidia AI chips. Apple to stay in India and more. So as I mentioned in the beginning of this video that Trump Middle East trip was very good for the overall tech industry, including Nvidia. So they secured some funding from the Middle East. Or, in other words, they secured some business from the Middle East. And that helped Nvidia shares go up last week as well. So, another one here it says Nvidia to set up a research center in Shanghai, maintaining a foothold in China. I'm not sure it's a good news for Nvidia stockholders and also overall for the US because Trump has been forcing the tech companies to minimize investment in China. But having a research center in China, that's a big thing for Nvidia and China because now they can get more research in China and China can benefit from that. Another one that says Nvidia is trying to hold on to its business in China even as it gets harder to compete with Huawei. So basically, it's trying to say Nvidia will not let China business go that easily to Huawei. So they're trying to do different things to make sure they are still relevant in China. So now this is the good one that says Nvidia says it's not expanding GPU designs to China after reports of new Shanghai operation. But after having a Shanghai research center, I'm not sure how Nvidia can avoid having GPU designs in China. So let's scroll down further. Another one regarding Nvidia that says Nvidia stock rises again. Trump just made another AI chip deal. So we already talked about that. Now this one that says Nvidia to have new US production facilities built by Wistron by 2026. So that's a good thing for the US job market. Scrolling down further to see if we have anything for Nvidia. I don't see. Okay, this one that says Nvidia stock rises. Core Weave results are good news after all. So that's a good thing. Okay, so that's all about news regarding Nvidia at this point. And this also concludes my video for today. So overall, if I summarize today's video, in my opinion, Nvidia might make some correction. So I'm not expecting Nvidia to surge big time this week. Maybe Nvidia could be trading between 130 and 140. I'm not expecting Nvidia to go above 140 by the end of this week. And that's my assessment. I can be wrong as well. And I shared with you four different data points to support my assessment. I hope you like the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.